All right, it's time to talk about the 49ers offense and Brock Purdy against the Kansas City defense that arguably is leading this Chiefs team into the Super Bowl. For the first time in this Andy Reid era, the Kansas City Chiefs have a defense that is ranked above their offense. Number 7 DVOA for the defense, number 8 for the offense, and it's going to be a big challenge for Brock Purdy and company. That being said, you heard Chris Jones talking today saying that he thinks this 49ers offense is better than the 2019 Chiefs offense. And a lot of people think that Chris Jones might just be blowing smoke. I get it. You want to respect your opponent heading into big games like this. But the data actually supports what Chris Jones is saying. The 2023 49ers offense is much more balanced. It's putting up more, it's putting up better efficiency than the 2019 Chiefs offense, which won the Super Bowl against the 49ers. And it also has a higher explosive play rate than that Chiefs offense. The 49ers pass offense, if you want to look at this in terms of DVOA efficiency, which is going to measure gains based on down and distance, which is going to look at what a 6-yard gain on 3rd and 5 looks like against a 6-yard gain on 3rd and 8. When you look at that kind of stuff and you balance in the red zone and all the important stats, this 49ers pass offense has been over 55% better than the league average. It's a number that we haven't seen in quite some time, which is why I drew the comparison to the greatest show on turf, Rams. Anyway, Chris Jones, the great Chiefs defensive tackle, was talking about that today during the Chiefs media availability. He thinks this 49ers offense is the real deal, and they are. But I also think that this Chiefs defense, especially the pass defense, is the real deal. Kansas City ranks in the top 5 in pass defense, and their secondary moves and flows and communicates as well as anybody's secondary. Their linebacker, Nick Bolton, right there in the middle, really, really fast. Great in coverage. One key to slowing the 49ers down is having a linebacker or 2 linebackers who are really good in coverage. There's a reason why the 49ers defense plays relatively well against this juggernaut of an offense during training camp, and that's because they have Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. So Bolton is going to be a big part of this game for Kansas City. And then there's Chris Jones, who actually has delivered the same pass rushing productivity score this year as Aaron Donald. And we consistently consider Aaron Donald to be the number 1 defensive tackle in all football when it comes to rushing the passer. But this Kansas City defense does have a weakness, and that weakness lies in run defense. In many ways, these two defenses have a lot of similarities, right? Down to better pass defense. For the 49ers, it's because of the pass rush and the coverage. But with the Chiefs, it's better pass defense because of the secondary, and then worse run defense. The 49ers have struggled on run defense. We all saw the NFC Championship game. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are number 27 against the run. And you see Chris Jones, who's an absolute game wrecker from anywhere on the line. He's going to work primarily against the right guard position of the San Francisco 49ers, John Feliciano. But we've seen him work against right tackle as well. In fact, last year when the Chiefs beat the 49ers 45-23, Chris Jones worked against right tackle, and he won several times against right tackle. So he's going to be working against Mike McGlinchey used to be the 49ers right tackle. He's going to be working against Colton McKivitz if he does line up over there as end. And 2 sacks in one game, well, for an interior rusher lined up on the edge, that's a big deal. Colton McKivitz can't give that up. It's hard to chip Chris Jones, send extra help to chip him because he's a power rusher on the outside. He's just going to run through you. You can chip an edge rusher that works the hoop, right, that tries to run the hoop and goes around the right tackle. That's when the chip help from the running back or the tight end can come in. But if he's going right through the tackle, it's a lot harder to chip him, and that's what makes Chris Jones such a handful to deal with. So Brock Purdy is probably going to have to operate from dirty pockets in this game. And the good news is that he has the highest passer rating in the NFL out of unclean pockets this year and the highest passer rating in the NFL against the blitz. And we know that Steve Spagnuolo, who's the Chiefs defensive coordinator, is going to blitz a lot. He's going to run blitz a lot because this run defense isn't good. Number 27 DVOA. The way to beat Chris Jones, the great pass rusher, is to run straight at him. Because, I mean, there's plays that he quits on. He is nearly an unstoppable force on a down-in, down-out basis when it comes to pass rushing. But when it comes to straight run defense, that is Chris Jones's weakness. And then you look at the rest of this Chiefs defensive line. They don't have Charles Omenihu anymore. The former 49er tore his ACL. They've got Mike Dana on one side and then George Karlaftis, who's got a big-time motor on the other. But these guys, I mean, they're not Nick Bosa and Chase Young. Let's just put it that way. The Chiefs' edge rush is significantly weaker than the 49ers. And their defensive tackle opposite Chris Jones, Tershawn Wharton, he's the worst starting defensive lineman in this game, I think, by a country mile. So there are weaknesses for the 49ers to exploit, but there is one big-time strength for the Chiefs that is an advantage over Feliciano, that's an advantage over Colton McKivitz, and that's Chris Jones. So the neutralizing force for the 49ers against that strength of the Chiefs has to be Brock Purdy. And the way that he manipulates the pocket, the way that he steps up, the way that he moves, his legs, not just his legs, though, his smarts, his ability to feel space. Purdy's going to have to take a situation that probably won't be ideal given the fact that Chris Jones can break a pocket, and Purdy's going to have to turn that into something that's a positive for the 49ers with the way that he moves. Because if he buying time is going to be absolutely necessary in a game against the team that covers as well as Kansas City. Top 5 kind of coverage unit. I mean, the corners have been really good this year. The nickelback Trent McDuffie's been really good this year. But you've got Jalen Watson on the right side at corner. You got L'Jarius Sneed on the left side. I like their safeties as well. Mike Edwards and Justin Reed, the Stanford product. These guys communicate flow really well together on the defensive end. And to beat them, the 49ers are going to have to be on their P's and their Q's. And that means that Brock Purdy is going to have time, or he's going to have to buy it, or a combination of both, because the Chiefs aren't just going to wilt on the back end like some of the past defenses that the 49ers have gone against. I do think that San Francisco has an unguardable collection of star power, but you have to give Brock Purdy and that star power enough time to create space on the field. So Spagnuolo's going to run blitz, so the 49ers probably won't be able to run with impunity. They're going to have to pass to set up the run. But if they can do that, if they can pass to set up the run adequately, then all of a sudden you're in position where you can play this game downhill. All of a sudden you're in position where you can expose the Chiefs' number 27 run defense. You can run right at Chris Jones. You could take advantage of the fact that this Chiefs defense is better against the pass and space than it is against the run in a ground and pound game. It is not a matter of just running into a brick wall, because Steve Spagnuolo is going to run blitz until you prove you can throw. It's a matter of balance. So people shouldn't be looking at this obtusely. It's a matter of balance for the 49ers, and that's the key for Brock Purdy against this Kansas City defense. So again, top 7 defense, but the number 1 offense. Number 27 run defense for Kansas City. Number 2 rush offense for the 49ers by DVOA. The big matchup, Brock Purdy working against that secondary, but he's got to find a way to buy some time if Chris Jones starts trying to wreck this game. Big time appearance for John Feliciano and Colton McKivitz on the right side. That's your little mini preview. 49ers offense against the Chiefs defense. We're going to have much more from the Super Bowl. We'll talk to you all very soon.